So hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today I am officially starting recording the first section, the coding section. And this is a project. I was taking a look on my old projects and I just found this one that I made in November 2017, long time ago. And this is a very simple project that I really enjoyed making. So I got the idea of code this section again, at least only the cards part probably. And my idea is to do a very similar, or actually the same design, but using code the way I would do it nowadays. So after 3 years, for sure I'm not going to use the same techniques or the same code I was using at that time. So let's do it step by step. This video might be a little bit long, and I'm probably going to apply a bit of changes in the design part, for sure some more padding in here and other stuff, but I'll try to keep it as much similar as possible from this original one. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, let's say, and let's start coding. So I'm not gonna edit or anything, so this video will be for sure a bit long. And by the way, please subscribe to the channel. This is going to help a lot to keep this work. And yeah, thumbs up, like the video. Let's start it. So I already have this index.html where I put the font Awesome. I'm just using a CDN for that. I'm gonna put the link in the comments below, in the description of this video. Also Google Fonts, and I selected Roboto. And for my CSS, I'll be using an external CSS file, which is just right here. So let's start with the HTML. And as you can see, for this card here, the way that I like to code, that I like to organize my cards, it's let's say it can like looks like I'm using too much divs, but in my opinion this would be the right way to do. Let's first start with the section. This would be the section our houses. I always like to use very descriptive names for my sections, and inside it I usually put a container div. Inside a container div I would probably make a div for this title, but I'll just be doing the cards part. So in this case I'll just apply a div to be the display flex parent. As you can see here, I have 3 cards side by side, and these 3 cards will be managed by a flex parent. So I'll make house flex, and then I'm gonna have the 3 cards. The card number 1, and I usually make a comment. What's happened? Card number 1. I forgot the code for this. This is the right. What's going on here? I have no idea. Okay, that's the right way to do it on Mac. By the way, I'm sorry, I'm just getting used to MacBooks. Anyways. And for this first card, well, I have a div for the card itself. Okay, I could make it more specific and call it, for example, card houses or card house. Yeah, that's probably how I'm gonna make it. Card house. Name of the section. And for this card house, I like to separate a div for my image and another div for the information part. And of course, when I go inside the information part, I want to make it in separate blocks, just to keep it more organized. Well, for multiple reasons. Another reason would be Also, to simplify in the future, if I want to make some kind of let's say animation, it would be easier to work in independent divs. But anyways, let's keep going. In card houses will have a div for image holder. I'm gonna use probably a background image. Okay. Well, I know this might be not the ideal way because I don't want to lose details from the picture in resizing, but I'll try to keep the cards in a good ratio as much as possible. But also, this is more like a representative image, so I don't see any problem to use this as a background image. And another div for the info. Okay, and this will be the information part. So let's check how it looks like for the moment. I could finish the HTML entirely, but I always like to work by blocks. So I'm gonna go and advance this a little bit more in the CSS part before. And by the way, if you want to code together, you can just pause the video right now and get this part of the code here. So let's go and do the CSS. For the CSS, I always like to put a margin 0, padding 0, box sizing, border box. This is my simple and typical reset. I can talk more about this in a future video, but for today that's all I need. And here I also like to always include a comment where I store information, like useful information that I maybe gonna need during the video or during the development. In this case, for example, the font family would be something useful. And by the way, this is the font family I might use for the whole card, for the whole sections. So let's keep it as a body. Then what next? Well, this is another general element that I use is the container. My container has a max width of 1000 pixels. I'm gonna check it in. Actually 1140 pixels, and the margin 0 out. All my sections, I like to use paddings on top and then bottom as well. So for my section, houses, if I remember well. Houses, yes. So this is the name of my section. I'm gonna use a padding on top and bottom. 100 pixels, I guess it's okay. No need any background color for this point, for this project. And well, let me just do this. It'll be easier for you for reading. And now I have to code, or I already have the code for the section houses, also for the container. So the next element I'm going to make the CSS will be the house flex, which is the parent flex for the cards. So not sure if I put houses flex. I'm gonna try to keep it consistent. So I'm gonna call houses flex and houses card. So let's call it houses flex, which is display flex, and justify content space between. I'm gonna come back here later to explain why am I using this, but let's continue. And now, of course, houses card. Is it card or cards? Card, singular. Okay, cool. So houses card is the card itself. And for houses card, I'm gonna use a fixed width. And this is a technique that I learned with a friend of mine, which is calculation 100% minus 60 pixels, for example, divided by 3. And I use divided by 3 because I want to have 3 cards. And this minus 60 pixels is because the space between each card, I want to use 30 pixels. So because I have 2 gaps between the cards, the total amount is 60 pixels. For the moment, I guess this is all I need. I'm just going to apply some borders, just to make it easier to visualize. 2 pixels solid red, even 1 pixel is going to be enough. And then also for the parent flex, I'm going to make some, apply a border, 3 pixels or actually 5 pixels solid and black. And let's see how it looks like to the moment. Well, I don't have any, I have only 1 card for the moment. I'm going to make the other 2 cards just as placeholders, and this will be my card number 2, and of course card number 3. Card 2, card 3, and I'm going to put the real code afterwards. So I'll be working only on the first card, then the copy and paste later, applying specific images and etc. So my image holder, let's see how it looks like actually. So this is all I need so far to have an idea how it looks like to the moment. So I guess this is my document. Okay, oh, of course, basic. I did not link my style.css. Let's see it now. And yeah, so here I have, going to increase a little bit. So here I have my card number 1, card number 2, card number 3. You cannot see the borders, but I have a very thin red border in there. So the elements are well positioned. Let's continue. Just make this border to be 3 pixels. Alright, so the next thing I want to do is my image holder. Okay, so as you can see, I like to work from outside to inside until I arrive to my element. And first, I like to position my elements first. So I want to make sure that my element is positioned in a good place, and it's using the correct width and the correct side. And this is a bit responsive, I would say. I'm not going to make it 100% responsive, by the way, at least not in this video, otherwise it's going to be extremely long. So for the image holder, just apply a background image, and of course I'm going to give a height for it. So this is going to be a houses card. Well, this is a unique class, so this is specific enough. And then I'm going to put image holder. So for example, if I'm working on a page with other image holder divs, this is enough specific for not having any problem with, conflict with other element on my page. So the image holder, I'm going to apply a height. I don't know, but I think 250 pixels might be enough. We're gonna change it later if necessary. Of course, a background image, which I like to do in separate properties. Okay, I'm not going to use any shortcut here. In the background position to be center. And by the way, I already separate a couple of images in the internet with the exact same size, and I think this is 400 by 200 something. I'm just going to use this link here just to work faster. And by the way, I also like to use a word wrap. So this is my image holder element, as you can see. In the ideal size, we would have this, and of course, also in the ideal coding, I would apply a breakpoint. I think it's too high, the height is too big. I'm going to reduce it for 200 pixels. I think it looks a bit better. So next, well, this is my image holder. And if we check this, you can see that my card has a padding in it. And in every direction, I applied it a little bit of padding. I don't know the exact amount, but I'll try to make it the same. So I'm gonna put probably 8 or 10 pixels. And I'm not gonna work on this border radius right now, but I'm gonna make it later. So for the moment, I would say that my card, houses card, has a padding everywhere, all directions of, let's say, 8 pixels. And that's it. So I have the card done. Not gonna work in the details right now. Like you can see clearly, it has a box shadow or something like this. And just taking a look now, I think this section is like a very light gray color. So I'm gonna make this background to be maybe E5, 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 or even, let me say F4, 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 so super light gray. And yeah, already put the padding in here. No, the padding for the card is actually in there. And almost forgot, this is a background white. Apply a background white for the entire card. And okay, let's work on the information part. So the information block, this is where I'm going to work now. It represents this part here. The way that I like to work is to separate the elements that make sense to be together. I could make this part here, for example, to be called information. But I prefer to consider this here as a div. Let's say this could be the header of the card. This part here could be the description of the card that later on the client could add new stuff. It could apply, I don't know, it could make icons or I don't know, anything else. That for the moment we just have a paragraph. And then I have this part here, which is the holder for the buttons. And then of course when we arrive in there, I might do it in 2 separate divs to hold the elements, right, side by side, using the display flex. Display flex is my favorite technique to put elements side by side. But for these 3 divs here, I'm probably gonna call houses card header, houses card description, or only header actually, description, and then holder button holders. Let's see how it looks like. So this is gonna be the div that I would call houses card header, another div, houses card or EHC, or I can even use the, you know what, I'm gonna just call this card header. I'm gonna call this description, and I'm gonna make the how we call the specificity using the houses card after. I'm not gonna use super long class names. This is gonna be for the description, and for the moment we just have a paragraph, super short. Okay, and a PTN folder. And again, I'm not going to make the real content right now. Okay, I will just put this reference text. Well, I put the real content for the paragraph, but I'm not gonna do it for the other 2 divs. I have div number 1, div number 2, div number 3, and the real content I'm gonna do it on the go. Let's just close it here. How can I delete this? Yeah. Okay, let's continue. What I can see, okay, card header, description, BTN holder. Let's do it houses card and card header. Same thing for description and BTN holder. On card header, we have elements side by side, and anytime I find this kind of combination, let's say, I really like to use display flex. In this case, I have this icon box here, and then I have a title and a subtitle. So, but for the moment, what I'm going to do, it's just the margin bottom, because I want a distance between this block here and the next, and I also want to keep consistent with the same distance between this block and the next one. So what I'm just going to put here is going to be a margin bottom, let's say 20 pixels, and the same for the next item. I also like to work with borders, temporary borders, of course. This is going to be blue. This will be red, and this will be green. I can remove the border from the card, probably, but I'm gonna keep this for the moment. Let's see how it looks like. Okay. Oh, I put in the second card. It's not a problem. Skip this way. So here I have this header, the description, and the button holder. What I need is to get the whole information area and have a distance between the image holder and the information area. And I probably will need to use a padding for that. Yeah, a padding on the top here, and also on the bottom to have this space in there. So I'm gonna get the information part. Not sure if I did it. Yes, info. So this is gonna be house card info. By the way, also you're gonna notice that I like to use the sequence for my classes in the same sequence they appear in the HTML. It makes the work much easier. So for the info, I want to apply some padding on top and padding on the bottom. Don't know the exact amount, but I will just consider it 20 pixels. That's too much. But 15 pixels might be enough, and 0 for the sides. Don't need it on the sides. At least, I don't think I do. Another thing you can notice is the text here aligned to the center. I'm not sure, I did it in 2017, but I'm not sure if I would do the same way nowadays. I'm not sure if I like the paragraph aligned to the center and the title aligned to the left. So this is something I can decide later. But one thing I definitely gonna need is more padding in the description part. It could be padding, or I could just limit the size in percentage and make it come to the center. But I'm just going to use the most simple solution, which is a padding on the sides. In this case, I don't want padding on top and bottom, but I want some padding on the left and right, and the text align will be centered. And I'm sorry for this video taking so long, but I'm just enjoying to show you the whole process and trying to help you understanding what you're coding. This is not an ideal tutorial because I'm not giving a deep explanation, but I hope you enjoy the process anyways. So let's see how it looks like for a moment. Yeah, well, it looks a bit better. In terms of alignment, of course, these borders are still not ideal, we know that, but let's continue. For this part here, pretty simple. I need an element to the left, which by the way I'm gonna let a fixed width. I don't want to risk deforming my element. And this element to the right. So let's do it right now. The header will be a div for the icon and a div for the, let's say, title and subtitle. Title and subtitle for my card. Considering that I have the section with an H2, this would be my H3 and the place name would be the H4, for example. The icon the icon I'm gonna use from font Awesome. So this will be my H4, sorry, H3 I guess, which is house 1, and the H4 will be a place name. And here the icon I have from font Awesome already here. This will be the icon I need. I'm gonna try to do it a little bit faster. Just wanna check if the elements are there. Yes, but they are not side by side. Of course, I did not apply the display flex just yet. So here's in the card header, I'm gonna give a display flex. I'm not sure if I need to apply a defined width to my icon box. So I'll work on it later. Let's do the elements first. So now they are positioned in the right way. I just want to make sure if it's the same alignment. Well, yeah, this is much bigger, and I want to make it sure that they have around the same height. I'm going to make it later, the details. Let's work on the positioning first. So here I have my paragraph. Looks okay. Might remove just these 2 words here. And then for the button holder, very simple. Well, there are multiple ways to do this, but as you can see, the button holder itself, I probably going to apply this border on top, and I will need this padding here to create this space, and then the 2 divs that contain the links. I'm not sure if I'll use the link directly, but probably yes. So I'll just try this solution, which is a first button. This is going to be my BTN. BTN1, BTN2, and only one of them I'm going to apply a border to the right or a border to the left. So my button holder, let's test, apply the border top should be 1 pixel solid and gray, and some padding. However, the padding, I already have the padding here on the bottom because of the card itself. Actually, the entire card has this padding here, and now the button holder I'm going to apply this padding on top only. Then yes, I guess this is all I need. So padding on top. And if I want to make it consistent, well, I think there's no problem if the padding here on the bottom is a little bit bigger than this one. But I would like to have this padding here the same amount I used in there. And if I'm not wrong, I was using 8 pixels. Might change it later if necessary. So let's just take a look. Actually, before I take a look, I'm going to make the code for the button. Button will be, in this case, is a very specific button because I'm not going to use paddings to center the text. I'll actually use a text align center. That's definitely a font, how to say, text transformation. Text transform uppercase. What's wrong? Text transform uppercase. What else? Yes, there is a problem in here because I have this padding there, but I don't have it. I need to find a way to center this text in the button. So let me think a little bit. What I'm actually going to do, let's consider, okay, I have an idea. Let's consider that my button is actually in here. Okay, so I am going to use padding, but the problem is that I don't know the exact amount of padding I need to the space that I have. So probably the best way will be a text align center. I'm gonna keep it, and then I'm gonna apply, of course, a display inline block, and then still padding on top and bottom only. Let's say 10 pixels, maybe less. I'm gonna check it later. 10 pixels 0. The display inline block. Not sure if this is gonna work, but I hope it does. So yeah, let's see how it looks like temporarily. Oh, by the way, BGTN holder, because I want them side by side, display flex as well. Okay. These need to be 100% divided by 2. Or no, I'm gonna use this way. It's not working. Let me try to understand. So you have BTN1, BTN2, BTN1, BTN2, div, is it display flex? Yes. So why they're not staying? Why they're not accepting? Oh, the width is wrong. There's something wrong here. Oh, this is a calc, of course. 100% divided by 2. Yes, seems good. But only for the first button, I'm going to have a border on the right. So this is, I'm gonna call this BTN1. I know this is not ideal. I could do another kind of selection, but I'm just gonna make it faster. Border to the right. Yes, so we have the separation in here. So this is a very simplified version of what I did here, but at least I have the elements positioned in the right place. So now I can just work in the, let's say, to end this thing. Let's do it right now. I think my container should be 1200. And the distance between the cards, are they okay? Let's start doing the good work now. Now is the funny part where we're going to do the detail, the final details. So now I'm going to apply some box shadow, and let's see what's next. This is my card. Where is it? Here. No need this anymore. A box shadow, I'd say 0 pixels, 0 pixels. I don't know, maybe 5 pixels, and RGBA, I would say 7.7. So I want a dark color, but some opacity. That's all. Also gonna put some, I think I want to put a border. If I remember well, here we have this effect. I cannot make it. Oh, okay. think I have to delete everything. Yes. I don't know why this is not working anymore. I mean oh, I see. I have to quit. So as you can see here, when we over, there is this border. And it's very important to put a border transparent, and when you over the card, the borders are going to appear. So what I'm going to do here, I don't have the exact code for this blue color, but I'm going to do an approximate color. So I'm going to put a border to be 5 pixels solid transparent, and it's only going to appear when we over the card. Okay, not going to make the link effect for now. What else? Yeah, I have an idea. I think when you over the card, no, I'm not sure if I want to do this. Let's see. Houses card, when you over, this is just a visual effect. This is not going to be clickable anyways, not for this moment. I'll put the border to be a light blue, and by the way, a transition. Dot 25 seconds, and the border will be light blue. Here, let's reload and check how it looks like. So here we have the effects. I'm also going to remove this black border in there, which is right here. So yeah, now I'm going to put the didn't save. Now I'm going to put the border radius. Cool. So this is going to be actually about 5 seconds. I'm going to use the border radius, and I don't know, but 8 pixels maybe. And also the border radius for the top left and right of the image. So this is gonna have the image holder. I'm gonna put some border radius. And this border radius will be 8 pixels, 8 pixels. I think if I put 8 pixels and 0, this is gonna be applied top only. Now this is actually top left and bottom right. I'm gonna use 8 pixels, 8 pixels, 0, 0. I think this is the right way to do it here and there. Yes. Well, the amount of border radius should be different, and also the gap. If we check the previous code, the padding on the card is smaller, and also the amount of border radius is not going to be the same. I want it to look very similar to the other one. So the houses card padding might be 5, and here the amount of border radius for the card image holder will be a bit smaller. Yeah, looks okay. Maybe still a bit less of padding. I'm gonna use 3 or 4. Let's say 3 pixels padding. And here border radius will be 5, and here will be 3 pixels. Okay, so this looks cool. This is looking nice. The blue level for this over, not sure if I like it, but I'll keep it for the moment. Now let's work on the header. And the header here will be not so complicated, I guess. Just want to make sure I select specifically the icon for this card specifically. I'm not using SAS for this project, but in future projects this is probably will be my choice. So for the icon, for the H3 could be general. I could use the same H3 for the whole project, but I'm going to use this specific. For the icon, I'm going to establish a font size. Let's say, no idea, but I can test this in real time here. So using the inspector sometimes makes the work much easier and faster. Font size for this icon will be 20 pixels, bigger, more than 20 pixels. This is cool, 32 pixels, maybe a bit more, not sure if I like it. It's too big for a... Yeah, I'm going to reduce the place name size. So let's see how it looks like when I reduce the H4 to 12 pixels. Yeah, so definitely 12 pixels for the H4 to my H4. This will have a bit of margin bottom. 4 pixels maybe, it's too much. 2 pixels will be fine. So I just need to apply some margin right. Too much. This distance, I guess it's cool. So yeah, 9 pixels or maybe 10 pixels of margin right. So these are the values I need. A 10 pixels margin right. The icon itself will have 36 pixels. The H3 margin bottom 2 pixels. Okay, so let's code it. Icon gonna have 36 pixels of font size. And oh, this is the div. I'm not sure if changing here. This is going to be applied to the I tag. But let's try it. And margin right. I can't remember how much I said. So the icon div has margin right 10 pixels. The H3, which is the top element, is going to have a margin bottom 2 pixels, and the H4 has a font size, if I remember, 12 or 10 pixels. Let's see, 12 pixels. Okay, and the color will be gray. Not working. Card header. How's this card header? Oh, this is not. Sorry, this is not a class. So of course this is not working. Okay, cool. So we're getting close, I guess. Eventually, I'm gonna put a bit more of padding on the. I'm gonna put some padding on the size of the information area. So I guess 5 pixels on each side will be a good idea. Yeah. And in this case, I'm going to reduce the description paddings to 15 pixels. Okay. So because this video is taking too long, I have an idea. I think it's gonna be better to stop this video a minute for a moment, and then we're going to continue from this step in the next video. Okay, so I hope you're enjoying the process. I'm going to remove these borders here so you can see how it looks like to the moment. remove it here, btns folder, border top. Don't want to move this, don't want to remove this, and border this. So yeah, this is how it looks right now. Of course, we're gonna make it look better. It's not ideal yet, it's far from ideal. And we're gonna finish this process in our next video. See you in the next.